Hello, welcome back to From Soft Serve, where we're back in Dark Souls 2 because I have separated the parallax occlusion mapping I'm adding to Dark Souls 2 thanks to Dark Souls 2 lighting engine and upscaling the textures for like the fourth time, but now for the best outcome, right? And I've separated that into its own mod so people can use it separate from like me adding dynamic shadows and altering like the looks of the area or each area. So now you can use it with any Dark Souls 2 lighting engine setup and just get more depth on textures. That's why I'm in this room. But first, a word from our sponsor, who is actually me. Yeah, got you on that one. No actual sponsor other than yoink. Quickly, I don't really talk about it a whole lot, but I do actually have a Patreon. I mention it in like the description sometimes, or like there's a link to it, and you get Google Drive links to the mods that I make, because Nexus mods obviously can be slow, and the mods, some of them are large, and so Google Drive links are a way that I can pay people back for supporting me more directly. Tried to make it like a win-win, right? So I do have a and you'll see the ad-free version gets posted the same time as the one on YouTube. I don't do like early access because I don't know, I feel weird about that. The other thing I have is a Ko-Fi coffee, where you can buy me a coffee, and these are people that have donated to me recently. I recently started a RTX 4060 Ti fund. That's, you know, somebody on the stream that was like, hey, would you like to crowdfund for an upgrade? Because I have an old 2060 and it's aging quite a bit. So, you know, of course, no pressure, but if you would like to donate to the fund, the RTX 4060 Ti, since it's as much as I would need, it's not too, I tried, you know, I don't want to go anything larger than that. I like low power consumption, etc. And so we've had some very, very nice donations and messages. And if you want to, you can donate there. But yes, that is the sponsor of today's video. It's me. Because I've had sponsorship opportunities that are emailed to me, like World of Tanks or Warships or Raid Shadow Legends, and then there was an app. There was a couple apps, and I've never accepted any of them because I always felt, I don't know, it felt weird. You know, not to say I never would, but like, I don't know. I'd like it to be something I actually like already use, or a game I already play and like. I don't want to recommend things that I don't actually like care about, you know? So that's kind of where I'm at. But anyway, so sponsored by me, but we're in this room here to show probably one of the best examples thus far of the parallax occlusion mapping that's being added thanks to Dark Souls 2 lighting engine making it so easy. Because basically I can pop in here and go, I would like to look at this wall surface to check the normal map, and also upscale the albedo while I'm here. So basically you open it, F2 for I'm in editor mode for DS2 lighting engine, by the way, and then it actually will capture all the draw calls, and then you go with your keyboard, your arrow key and spacebar, and you basically go down until you find the one you're looking for, which it highlights it, and then it will show you whether the albedo is overridden, the specular, the normal. And then the normal map is where the parallax occlusion, like height map, actually lives, right? It's in the blue channel of the normal map's RGB-A channels. The blue channel is actually where you put the height map. And this is actually a surface that was really interesting because and this is what I found for about 50% of surfaces thus far. I've gone all the way up to, I'm right before Drangleic Castle is where the mod is at. Although I haven't updated that version, but the other one is like up to Shaded Woods, so I'll update it very soon. This wall here, as you can see, there's now really cool crevices in between these rocks that are being created with the parallax. And that is a height map that actually already existed in the normal map. It was already there. FromSoft had made this. And because when you go to the side, it's actually completely flat. But the parallax effect creates these really cool bricks, and up close you can break the effect if you want. Like if you want to go like this, you can obviously get, you know, it's kind of goofy looking because it's creating this, you know, visual effect, but from a distance it looks fantastic, and lighting engine handles it fantastically well. and there's like a LOD system for it, so at a distance it doesn't always keep doing it, but within a certain distance where it's viewable by the player, it is. And you get this really great view of the light from like this little candle here, and you can see the shadowing that's happening in the actual like depths, or the depth created by the crevices. So you can see it over here as well, which should be the actual thumbnail, should be this, which is why I started the video here. Because obviously the texture is also upscaled 2x, and so most textures will land at around 4K resolution. Well, not most textures. So some textures land at 4K if they started at 2K, and then they go to 2K if they're at 1K. And so it basically keeps a nice even detail balance between the textures. My original Scholar of the Second Sin texture mod over upscaled things too far. It did 4x upscales on most things. Actually, I even enabled the parallax that had already existed for this mound of bricks. So you can see there's a little bit more depth on the bricks, just slightly, because they're actually just flat. It's actually just a flat surface. And this was another one where FromSoft had already made the height map for it, but it simply went unused. Dark Souls 2 lighting engine by default already had some surfaces that it enabled parallax on, right? I'm basically just going through and filling in the gaps, which it turns out there was still quite a few left that did not have parallax. Of course, this floor here now has actual parallax, so you can see as I walk the player lantern, you'll see the shadowing that's happening in the crevices, where before it was once again a flat surface with just the normal map. So you can really think of the parallax as like the next step above a normal map. The parallax is just going to create a slightly better effect. Now there's another location that is actually really good to show this, and let's travel there if I can remember how to get there. Let's start from the beginning of Huntsman's Copse, because I believe I should be able to get there from there. Get there from there? Okay. It's still early and I haven't had all my coffee yet, so don't judge me too hard. I'm flying through the game. This is actually a new character I had to make because I had no other option, unfortunately. Yeah, you can see even here, slight parallax on these rocks or boulders, just a tad bit. Like, especially up on that little ridge there, you can see it's very subtle, but what I like is that, you know, if you add it together, it becomes just everything has a little bit more depth. Oh my god, it's hard to see in here. Oh my god. Now the preset you're looking at of like how the areas look in terms of their visual makeup, that is actually from my Shadows of Drangleic mod, so you can basically ignore that. Just the surfaces and the textures. That's what we're really interested in. Oh, let's get my sword out. That seems important. Okay, so this is the room I want to be in. Okay. I don't have my HUD on, so I can't really see when somebody's going to be attacking me. But there's a really great rock pebble looking floor in here. Okay, I'm not going to fall in the hole. That's step one. Oh, mamma mia. God, there's always more guys in here than I think. Okay. Let me eat my candy. Okay, throwing knife, prisoner's hood, thank you very much. So obviously you can see the excellent parallax on the floor here. So you can see nice deep crevices in between the bricks, which is what parallax is best known for. Hey, I'm fairly certain, also there's like a phantom person here by their shadow. That's weird. I swear to God, I lit this. There's no doubt in my mind, I lit that. So you can see these rocks, these little pebbles, are actually getting a parallax effect to make them stand out a little bit more, when in reality it's a completely flat surface. So that's just some of the stuff you can expect from this mod, is just, yeah, a little bit better parallax. Well, not a bit better parallax. Parallax where commonly there was no parallax before. There's one other spot that I want to show, because this will be a shorter video. I always say that, but this time I think it's going to be like half of my normal video, because it's a small update of like, hey, here's a mod, here's the description, you know, here's the link, bada bing, bada boom, easy peasy lemon squeezy. Yeah, I think this one will show it. So basically, it's parallax that's been added to the leaves on the ground, because they were just a texture with like a normal map, and that was it. But there's actually a spot that I think looks really good. Yeah, I think if we head out back this way, let's double check. There's those leaves, but I don't think those are the ones. So I'm just I got a bastard sword, which is essentially a very slightly worse claymore. Interestingly enough. Let's see, because this should be the parallax surface. So what we can do is we can double check. I've had issues where sometimes I end up not saving the actual shader params. If you hear my keyboard making a bunch of sound, that's how fast I go through these with spacebar and arrow, because I found that to be the quickest. Oh, this is, got it. Yeah, so Shaded Woods is kind of weird, where there's a spot where it's only using an albedo texture. The actual surface itself does not have a normal map. It's literally just albedo, which sucks, but that is a thing that Dark Souls 2 would use occasionally. And I've unfortunately not had any luck adding, like editing the model itself to go, oh, okay, here's the normal map. Because they have a normal map for this. It does exist. It's just unfortunate that I've run into like shader issues where it'll look really weird in game. Ah, here you go. Yeah, so you can look at these leaves here, and they now have this kind of cool parallax effect, which of course you can always break if you want to go really close up to it, but at a distance. So I'm going to figure out how to apply that to the other surfaces that are not using the normal map that already exists. For whatever reason, they just didn't put a normal map on some of the blend surfaces, or even just some of the solo surfaces. Like over here, you can see it's just flat. But if it was using the better normal map, you'll now see that there's this really cool parallax that makes it look like the leaves have depth. But you can see the line where it cuts off, where it basically transitions over to a blend surface, and it's not using that normal map anymore. And that's where I haven't quite figured out the texture system that Ellie has. I believe you can like create a texture on a surface, but I don't think that works for if the surface did not already use a normal map, because that must still rely on the game model, which makes total sense. Well, it does say that it's using it, but I don't know that it is. It doesn't seem like it is. It doesn't look parallax, because you can see the cutoff here, where it just ends up looking like parallax and then very much not parallax. So I'm a little, I don't know, I'm suspicious of that. It's not a perfect effect, but you do get some nice things on leaves. But obviously these were only a couple examples. There's actually like a bajillion more examples of parallax that's been either tweaked or added. I've also been adding like bounce lighting, which is cool. Now that is only going to be in my Shadows of Drangleic mod. The one we're talking about today is just the textures and the parallax effect. That, yeah, here you go. This is the spot where you can see just this really nice boost to, it looks like the leaves are piled up instead of just a completely flat texture with a, you know, a little bit of a normal map being used. But yeah, it's little things like that. And then on the ground, you really just want to increase the depth on a lot of surfaces, and you maintain the original look, but it just is a little bit better. So yeah, nothing too crazy, but I think it's a nice little boost. And obviously all textures in Dark Souls 2 Lighting Engine you have under Shading, Quality, and Performance. You will see the texture cache setting. I do recommend keeping that at 4K max, but of course you have the option to go to 2K. Most of my textures are going to 2K res, and they wouldn't really benefit from going up to 4K because they started at 1K, and like 4X, it warps the texture a little too much to where I don't think it's not worth it. you're not gaining much. But yeah, basically everything you've seen in this game or in this video has had the sharper texture, and I think it just matches. It doesn't look over upscaled like my Scholar of the Second Sin mod. But basically, I've been playing through the game normally, and then I just, as I go, I add parallax, add parallax, add parallax. Every single surface you're seeing, I manually looked at in the override editor, and I was like, okay, parallax, parallax, parallax. That already had parallax, parallax, parallax. And a lot of surfaces, as I said before, already had a height map ready. Like this statue actually had a height map ready to be used, and you can look at those crevices down there, and now they're a little bit deeper, and it looks like they're 3D modeled more than they are. And so it's just stuff like that, consistently adding depth to as many surfaces as we can. And I think it's kind of cool because there's somebody at FromSoft who made that height map, and it just never got used. And now I'm just ensuring that they're always used across the board. And then, of course, making new ones for surfaces that don't have them. So yeah, thank you for watching. And yeah, let me know if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, Ko-Fi. If not, no big deal. Just subscribe to the channel, or don't. And then share the video, or don't. And like the video, but there you have no choice. You legally have to like the video. I've now said that. So it is law. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video, though.